morning. So it is Saturday the 4th of May and it is 5 weeks, 1 day in recovery. So today I was a little bit silly actually, because I've been taking this Clomid, as you know, if you've been following the journey. I've been taking clomiphene citrate, so it's Clomid. It's a fertility drug that doesn't normally work on people like myself that have got hypothalamic amenorrhea. But as I keep saying, I have done the hard part of, from when I was anorexic and seriously overtraining to eating a hell of a lot more food. I still continued the training, mind you, but I did gain the necessary weight. I am a healthy weight now for what my body, I think, would want to be. I certainly am very much similar to what I was when I was having my periods before this, which didn't have a few of them, you know, didn't have many, but the ones that I did, and when I fell pregnant, etc., I was about, in fact, I weighed less than what I do now. I'm very heavy. I'm thinking that's probably because of the muscle mass that I've gained, but anyway, I'm going off track. So today I'm trying not to get too excited, but I'm very impatient. I've been taking Clomid for 5, 6, 7. This will be my 8th day on my 10 for my Clomid. I'm doing the extended Clomid protocol, by the way. So your standard Clomid would be just 5 days at 50 milligrams, but do you know what? I thought, kill or cure. I'm just going to go for I've been reading up and researching on this thing called the Clomid protocol, and researchers gave women in particular, they were aged young sort of 19 to 20 to 23, BMIs between 17 and 19, and they gave them Clomid 50 milligrams for 5 days, followed by another 5 days of 100 milligrams, followed by estrogen and progesterone type therapy to induce a bleed. Those that ovulated, 6 out of 8 women or something ovulated, and you know, they did a second month, whereas sort of in their 3rd day of their bleed, so in their induced bleed that they had after ovulation. It's not quite clear whether or not that's their own bleed or whether or not that's an induced bleed, but anyway, so on the 2nd month they're just given for 5 days 100 milligrams, and then on the 3rd month they were given another 100 milligrams for 5 days, only 5 on the next 2 months, and each girl, eventually all of them, got their cycles back, their natural cycles back. So it kind of filled me with a bit of inspiration to think, well, all these years that I've been at a decent weight, maybe my hypothalamus is just needing a bit of a shake up and say, hey, I'm still here. Because sometimes it doesn't matter what you do, it doesn't matter how much exercise you reduce or how much you eat, you know, sometimes in a very, very small percentage of people that it doesn't come back. So this right now could be a combination of the fact that I have significantly reduced my exercise, gained a little bit extra weight even though I was at a healthy weight to begin with. So this morning, I'm only in 8 out of 10 days, and this morning I got a little bit impatient and I did do a predictor ovulation test thing. I'll show you what I got, if you can see that there. Might not be able to, but it's a big fat smiley face. And I was very happy with this, mind you. However, Clomid can give a false positive for ovulation because it does help release FSH and LH into the bloodstream and into the body. So my point is this: I am excited because even though I have tested way too early, a lot of the time Clomid doesn't work with women in hypothalamic amenorrhea if they're not ready to be recovered. What I mean by that is if you haven't stopped the exercise, if you haven't started, you know, feeding your brain and feeding your body for what it needs, you're still in a state of malnutrition. It's not going to have any effect on you whatsoever. You're just going to take it and nothing is going to happen. So my point is this: at the moment I was optimistic. I hoped that something would happen, But again, reading up about it all, Clomid, it's not the answer for somebody that's still under eating, over exercising, and I'm not doing that at the moment. So I thought, okay, let's give it a go. Now, what this means for me personally is, I don't know about you, but I've had lots of blood tests done in many years gone by. Every single time I've had them, my estrogen has actually been creeping up over the last year and a half. It's actually crept up a little bit, my estrogen. I think on one of the blood tests it was 96, which is, that was like mega for me. Never gone above that, but that for me was a good estrogen level. Progesterone has always been nada yada because there's no ovulation going, so there's no need for progesterone until you ovulate, really, I think. Don't quote me on that. My FSH has always been on the low end. Again, I can't quite completely... I did have it on my results and everything. I think it was like 5 or 6, which is quite low, which is really low. And again, that was taken at the same time that my estrogen was at 96. So again, the two don't marry up. But the interesting thing is my LH, I've never had a reading. I've never had a significant level of LH, which is very characteristic of a hypothalamic amenorrhea. So if you've got PCOS, etc., you normally still have some sort of LH in your blood. A lot of women that over-exercise, undereat, and who develop HA have very, very low LH. It is sometimes undetectable. Mine, even gaining the necessary weight that I needed, or that I thought I needed, and being at a healthy weight now, even then my bloods have always indicated a very low LH, to the point where it's like 0.1, 0.2. I think 0.2 is my highest I've ever had, which is sad. So I'm excited today because whatever is happening from this Clomid, I have had an LH surge in my urine this morning. So even though I might not be ovulating right this second, if the LH has surged, it means that the FSH has also surged, and that this Clomid is actually making my hypothalamus tell the pituitary to let my ovaries work. I hope, fingers crossed. Like I said, I'm no doctor, gynecologist. I am simple, your average Joe. I'm not somebody that is experienced enough to be giving you advice. I'm just telling you my story, and this is exactly what is happening to me right now. I've read a couple of women who have done this extended protocol. They've probably done it under the, sort of influence of a doctor or a gynecologist or even fertility clinic. I actually ordered them online from a specialist pharmacy in London. And, I paid through the nose. I'd done their prescription, all their questionnaire, etc. And they'd given them to me. And, I could be putting my body under a bit of danger. But the way I see it is, what have I got to lose? If I don't ovulate, well, I wasn't ovulating anyway. So what is this going to do? It's not going to set me back. It's not going to stop all of a sudden all the progress that I've gained in the last 5 weeks one day. Whoop, whoop. Not that I'm counting. Had bought some new clothes today as well, which, I bought this shirt because I need to cover up what's going on underneath the shirt, because for me at the moment I'm feeling very vulnerable. I'm feeling very large in my body, and every time I look in the mirror I'm finding it really difficult to accept what I see. I've got to accept it. And at the end of the day, every pound gained is another pound towards my health. I just hope and I pray that in 2 days' time, is it 2 days? So 2 more days' time. So it's currently Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So bank holiday Monday the 6th, I stopped the clomiphene, or the Clomid. So I'm going to continue to test, and I'll be continuously updating you. By the way, I haven't really had any of the side effects either. I don't know whether I'm really, really lucky or it just isn't working in my body. And I was always going to have an LH surge regardless of what I'm doing to myself now with the Clomid. So I'm not having any nasty side effects. I'm not emotional, I'm not moody, I'm not depressed. I certainly haven't had any vision experiences, bad vision. The only thing I have had is a very odd headache. And again, actually, that same pain came back last night when I took it, about 2 hours after I took my tablets. It's strange, and it come and went. It didn't linger as much this time as what it did before. So I can handle that. I think anybody that's gone through this journey is a tough cookie, for what you are and what you have done to your body, and, put it in this malnourished state. I'm not going to applaud you for it, same as I wouldn't applaud myself for it, but I will say it takes a certain type of person to get up every day, regardless of how their body is feeling and screaming at them, underfueled, tired, depressed, miserable, and you will still go out and do that workout. And it takes a certain kind of person with a certain type of mentality to be able to do that, to be very motivated to do that. I say motivated, I call myself a very driven person, and I am driven to do things. If I need something done, I'll just get on with it and do it. I don't stop and stall, but sometimes that can get you in trouble. And it is about listening to your body. And if you wake up, have you ever done this? I mean, I am somebody that wakes up every day and I have to go to the toilet almost immediately. It's like I get a 5-minute warning and then I'm down there. Number 2, sorry for the TMI, but I have to go to the number 2 almost immediately within 5 minutes of waking. So for me, I used to sit on that toilet and I used to get my phone out, and I used to be like overtraining, over-exercising, edema, puffy face in the morning, and I used to be Googling all these things, and all I wanted to do was for my phone to just jump out at me and say, Emma, for fuck's sake, take yourself back to bed, because I was desperate for something to smack me in the face and say, you've got to stop doing this. And if you're watching this video now and you are in that situation where your body is telling you you need to slow down, you need to stop, you're waking up, you're not even recovering, properly from the extreme exercises that you put through. Maybe you're just a runner, but maybe you're now in your hip flexors, you're starting to get a few niggles in your calves every day that just won't go away. That is a major indication that you need to slow it down and you need to be fueling your body. I think baby steps, Rome wasn't built in the day. So my advice to anybody that's maybe starting the journey themselves is, if you haven't already started cutting down your exercising or eating more, do the eating more first, because I personally found giving up the exercise the hardest thing. And sometimes your body reacts to you just eating more and fueling your workout without you needing to adjust your exercise. It's very rare, but it's not to say that it can't happen. So if you're somebody that is like, no way, I cannot give up this exercise regime. I have Monday spin followed by attack. I've got Tuesday spin followed by, CRX and whatever, and kettlebells and WODs. If you're the sort of person that is very routinely and you've got a structured program that you want to follow, then don't give it up initially. All I would suggest is to, on one day, just one, take a full rest and don't do anything. So train the way you want to train, increase your calories, maybe just by 100, 200 a week. What that would look like is an extra banana a day, an extra protein shake potentially, I don't know. But try and do that gradually, because sometimes if you go all in and you start eating 2,500 calories a day, etc., and you've only been eating 1,200, 1,500, 1,600, then you'll probably get very uncomfortable very quickly. So if you're anything like me, I needed to take baby steps with this, because I needed to gradually see the weight gain. I had got to the point where I was eating about 2,000 calories already. So to add it up another 400 or 500 on certain days, most days, maybe more, wasn't too much of a jump. I haven't seen a huge weight gain. it has been still significant for me, but it's not ridiculous. You know, I'm not sitting there looking like I've eaten another person. So that's my advice, is to take it easy, just do one thing at a time. And maybe if for you the scariest thing is the exercise, then increase your food. If it's the opposite, if you think actually I can keep eating what I'm eating but just stop the exercise completely, then do that. Give that a go for a little while, and then when you're ready, start increasing your calories. You will need to keep adding them calories, and you will have to start reducing some of your exercise. Your body didn't get you into this state for no reason. You've underfueled and you've pushed it to a level where it's not happy. Now it needs to get its set point back. So I'm wishing you all the luck. If you want to share your story with me, or comment on my video, or message me, I'm quite happy to speak to you privately and just give you a few tips of what I'm going through. I'll keep you posted on the Clomid ovulation situation. Really and truly, it's going to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's going to be Thursday next week that if I get a happy face, then I will be happy faced. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so you can follow my journey. And well, there we go. Bye.
I once felt I'm done with the defense. Drove back and climbed over your fence. Had to show you that I was a man.